Up ahead, Glenn and Anthony are responding to the first call of the shift.
One of the other cars from our team's come across an accident where it appears that cars collided with a bus and the driver of the vehicle's run off, so we're just going to head up.
This documentary is about sociopaths. I recently have been really interested in the topic of sociopathy and decided to do my own research and digging into the fascinating topic.
We are not all abusive monsters or serial killers.
This documentary will hopefully give you a brief insider into a mad mind of a sociopath and question who you'll next become friends with. First of all, let's start with the general definition of a sociopath. Technically speaking, a sociopath is a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in an extreme antisocial attitudes and behaviour. A sociopath is a term used to describe someone who has an antisocial personality disorder, technically referred to as ASPD. People with ASPD can't understand others' feelings. They often break rules, make impulsive decisions without feeling guilty for the harm they've caused. So basically, a sociopath has no feeling or remorse. Today, I will investigate what causes someone to have no conscience or remorse for others. It is diagnosed if someone has a pervasive pattern of disregard and violation of the rights of others, they are a sociopath. There are 7 different aspects that sociopaths can conform to. Number 1. A sociopath fails to conform to a social norm with respect to lawful behaviours, as indicated repeatedly doing things that warrant arrest. For example, always running into the law, not caring about them getting arrested or going to prison. Number 2. Deceitfulness is indicated by repeated lying, use of allies, or conning others for personal profit. Number 3. Impulsivity, or failure to plan ahead. Number 4. Aggressiveness, as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. Number 5. Reckless disregard for the safety of itself or others. Number 6. Constant irresponsibility, as indicated by repeated failure to sustain constant work behaviour to honour financial obligations. Number 7. Lack of remorse, as indicated by indifferent to relationships or having hurt or stolen from another. People with antisocial personality disorder lack a conscience. Instead of wanting their life to be filled with love, success, fun, joy, they focus on winning the game of life. This so-called game can vary from person to person, but just remember, these people get very bored very easily and they don't like anything sentimental. They instead like to control others around them. They see people as things to be used for their own advantage. They can even mimic emotions and behaviours to get what they want. Believe it or not, the most common jobs for sociopaths are teachers, psychologists, priests, divorce lawyers, doctors, actors, and even high school coaches. Most sociopaths aren't actually behind bars for committing crimes. They're in fact way better than that. There are more sociopaths in your day-to-day life than you actually think. Rough studies state that 1 in 25 people are sociopaths. As I've been going through all this information, you must be thinking, are sociopaths extremely dangerous, as terrible as we think? The likelihood that you've met a sociopath in your day-to-day life is very high. Now, during my research, I found that one of the most asked questions by the general public is, do sociopaths know or are aware of their diagnosis? Do they care that they are sociopaths? Do they know that they're a bad person? So I did some digging, and in fact, since they have no conscience, even though they know they have an antisocial personality disorder, it doesn't even affect how they view themselves. If you think about it, sociopaths don't have a real relationship with people around them, so they probably don't have a real relationship with themselves. So knowing that they had a mental illness wouldn't matter to them at all. Another question people usually wanted to know is, are serial killers sociopaths or extremely violent? And the truth is, not every sociopath is the same. They all seek different aspects in life. For example, some sociopaths just want to be rich and find a partner to pay for all their expenses in life and luxury items. However, some just want to control others. So owning a small business or owning a big business, they just want to control. And in fact, can you believe only a small amount of sociopaths are actually criminals or violent at all? Lastly, if there's someone in your life that always turns issues around on you and makes you feel sorry for them when in actual fact it just doesn't add up, they might be a sociopath. To conclude this documentary, the likelihood that you've met a sociopath in your lifetime is very high. So just be aware who you next become friends with.